All right, welcome to lesson 77. We earlier did our conversions with U.S. customary and metric as far as measuring length. Now we're going to deal a little bit with weight and mass. All right, so first of all we have our chart. 16 ounces equals 1 pound and 2,000 pounds equals 1 ton, abbreviated with the T. All right. Metric side, we have 1,000 milligrams equals 1 gram, 1,000 grams equals 1 kilogram, and 1,000 kilograms equals 1 metric ton, and that one's abbreviated TN. So if you see a T or a TN, that's going to show the different ones, whether it's metric or it's standard. Now, as you go to figure it out, always remember, this is the biggest thing right here. Write it down on your paper. Have it ready. Big unit to a small unit, you're going to multiply. Or if you go from a small unit to a big unit, you're going to divide. So here, ounces and pounds. We're going from a small unit to a bigger unit. Small unit to a bigger unit, so we're going to divide. So we know we have 176. Now we just need to figure out how much we're going to divide it by. So we're going ounces into pounds. So a pound has 16 ounces. So we're going to want to divide this by 16. 16 goes into 17 one time. 1 times 16 is 16. Subtract. There's a 1. Bring down our 6. 16 goes into 16 one time. So 1 times 16 is 16. Subtract, and we have 0. So nothing left to bring down, so the problem is done. So we have 11 pounds. Okay? Now let's do this one. 15 pounds equals how many ounces? Pounds to ounces. Big to a small. Big to a small, so we know that we are going to want to multiply. 15, and we're going pounds into ounces, so we know 16 ounces again, so that's always the number with what we're doing that we're going to want to divide or multiply by. So 15 times 16. 2 digits, so I want you to do the grid, okay? And we have 2 digits here, so we need 2 boxes for that. And the second box gets a 0. All right? Just like we practice over and over. 6 times 5 is 30. Carry our 3. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 3 is 9. And let's get rid of that so we don't confuse ourselves again. 1 times 5, we already have a 0 there, so it has to go into this spot. Is 5. 1 times 1 is 1. And now just add them up. 0. 9 plus 5 is 14. Carry your 1. 1, 2. So that equals 240 ounces. Okay? Double digit. Make sure you draw your grid so you don't get confused. And now for these two problems here, for customary, I want you to do 1,520 ounces equals how many pounds? Small to large, so which one are we going to want to do? All right? Then we have 22 pounds equals how many ounces? Now we're going big to small, big to a small, so use that. Remember, are you going to want to multiply? You're going to want to divide. Now, when we're dealing with the metric, it's a little bit easier, okay? Because everything is in groups of 1,000. So this one, we're just moving the decimal point back and forth. All right? And we've done a lot of that also. But remember, same thing still applies. Big unit to a small unit. Big unit to a small unit means we have to multiply. Now remember when we did our multiply and divide. A, B, C, D, divide. H, M over here, so multiply, we're going that direction. Divide, we move it that way. Big to a small, we're going to multiply. So that means we have to move our decimal that way. And we are going to move it 3 spaces each time. Okay? Moving it 3 spaces to the right or 3 spaces to the left. So if we have 37.7, and we need to move it 3 spaces to the right because we're multiplying. 1, 2, 3 goes here. So we add our zeros in there to fill in that spot. So now we have 37,700. 37,700 grams. All right? And then now we have 9,900 grams, and we're going to kilograms. So we're going from a small unit to a bigger unit. Small unit to a big unit, so we're going to divide. Once again, divide, we move our decimal point that direction. So here's our decimal. Remember, if it's not there, it's just at the end. We're going to move it 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3. So 9,900 grams is 9.9 kilograms. That's all it is. So converting with metric is much easier because you don't have to do quite the math. You're just moving decimal places one direction or the other direction. Okay? And then here's the two for the metric that I want you to do. 15 grams equals how many milligrams? So we're going from a gram, which is bigger than a milligram. So bigger to smaller, bigger to smaller. And then down here we have 70,100 grams equals how many kilograms? So once again, small unit to a big unit, small unit to the big unit. So we're going to divide. Divide, we go that way with the decimal. Multiply, we go that way. Have these 4 all ready for class, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.